Hi everyone, I'm Danny Lichtenfeld, Director of the Brattleboro Museum and Arts Center. On behalf of Brattleboro's amazing creative community, all of the artists and makers and musicians and other kinds of performers and performance venues and museums, it's my pleasure to welcome you to Brattleboro's first ever Brattleboro Gallery Walk Goes Virtual. Since 1996, the first Friday of every month has seen people teeming throughout downtown Brattleboro, shops open late, art activities happening and performances taking place as part of our great gallery walk tradition. Of course, these are unusual times. We're not able to do that in the usual way right now. So instead, we've put together this virtual taste of gallery walk for you to enjoy. We hope we'll get back to something resembling normal gallery walk in the not too distant future. But in the meantime, we're getting creative, and what you have in store are performances by a number of musicians, lots of different genres, and features from our great art venues and a lot of different hosts. Basically, a community of creative people who have come together to show support for one another and showcase Brattleboro's incredible creativity. And I have to say, as a member of this community, it's never been more apparent what a great community this is and how important it is for us to be a community and to be watching out for one another and pulling for one another and taking responsibility for keeping each other safe and healthy. And so I know, like so many of you, really appreciate this community at this difficult time. So in any case, hope you enjoy this this taste of gallery walk, this virtual taste of gallery walk that we have in store for you. And I just want to say, even though you're enjoying this from wherever you may be, and we're not able to be here together downtown tonight, Brattleboro is in fact open, and I encourage you to come downtown, bring your mask, bring your hand sanitizer, and visit our incredible shops and restaurants and art venues, and take advantage of all that Brattleboro has to offer. Brattleboro is indeed open for business, and everyone's doing a really great job of making sure that we can enjoy downtown in a safe way. In the meantime, I hope you'll enjoy this first ever virtual gallery walk.
Are you ready to go on a gallery walk with me?
Always, Rob.
Okay, I'm ready to go with you.
To gallery walk with you anytime.
Really?
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
Let's go right now.
I first want to appreciate the beautiful paint job that the kids did on the.
Oh, the kids did that?
Well, I saw a couple of there's a bunch of others.
That does look very nice.
Right, no, they're parklets. They're called
Parklets, yes. Sounds better than Jersey barrier.
Yeah.
They're Jersey barrier eating areas. Really nice.
This gallery? Want to go into this gallery?
Yeah, I heard this artist named Ross has these really amazing pieces in this gallery.
I didn't hear that.
Hello, welcome to the Stone Church. And this is part of your virtual gallery walk tour. Come on in. Tonight we're preparing for the Gaslight Tinkers live stream. Dan's on the video switcher here. Yep. Tell the people what we're doing. We're showing the different cameras one at a time so that people can see different parts of the band while they're doing their thing. So we've got 5 cameras up here. If you look at the preview, they look like this, and then we can pick between them. Here's the sound and light booth. So we have Aaron on sound and Jason on lights tonight.
Howdy.
I'm Aaron.
You want to tell them a little bit about what you're doing?
Yeah, let's see. We've got about 32 channels in and a bunch of monitors up there, six monitor stands. That's the house, and we're sending a live stream stereo signal to the internet. That's about it.
Yeah, so with lights, we have 4 par cans on either side and some pretty awesome Rogue wash lighting on either side to really light up the band and give a full spectrum across the board. so everyone can see everything all the time. We do have some tricks up top with some rogue spots that have a lot of gobos, a lot of patterns and colors. And I just get to sit here and flip knobs and make different colors happen and make people feel different things. So that's what you'll be seeing.
Is Shanta Gander,
And I'm Maclean, Gander.
and we're here inside of Vermont Artisans. Vermont Artisans has been here for 48 years, and I'm sure most of you may be familiar, we are on in the showroom right now. That's also attached to a kitchen store, but also there are some treasures upstairs. Lots of painting and art of all sorts of different sizes and mediums. So we would like to show you that. And also we're joined by
Paul Stone. I went to Dartmouth, got a dental degree at Tufts, practiced dentistry in Brattleboro for 45 years or so. But all the time I was painting. I started exhibiting in galleries in 1976, I think it was, and I'm still doing that today.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining
Very
us.
happy to be in this gallery.
I love your use of color.
Well, thank you.
No, it's really vibrant. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was going to say, especially this one, it has an element of vividness that is really interesting. I mean, not sort of typical Vermont shades of color. You know.
I first perceived, I guess, conceived this idea of multiple silos when I drove by a farm just maybe 20 miles west of Dorset in Vermont, out in the country there. Well, there's a great farm that has 8 silos. And I said, 8, that's an octave.
Your use of purple or violet in this one with the cows, it's really
Well,
striking to me.
well, again, there's too much green in that. It needs
Right,
something to.
But then I look at it, I said, I've never seen that color exactly. I mean, maybe
Right.
on a lilac tree, but
Yeah, right.
how'd you come up with that?
Green and purple have a wonderful camaraderie.
Yeah.
Visually and they're very comfortable together, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Visually,
definitely.
they're not complementary colors, but they don't complement one another, but they work well together.
Well,
And then
I love
There's probably
this-
another word for that.
No, and you bring in the sort, I don't know what the color names, you know, like ochre or umber or whatever the cows, you know, like that soft kind of brown that you.
That Guernsey brown.
Yeah, exactly. And it really, and there's such a wonderful blend.
Would you call that life size?
Well, Greg told the story because we were working on a story about art in Windham County and COVID-19. And he told the story about how this had to be brought in because it wouldn't fit. But this also, I would say, really connects with your aesthetic with barns, but also part of like what you would see as a part of a rural
That had to
existence.
be reassembled in here. Is
Yeah,
that right?
yeah.
Yeah,
That's,
right.
that's what he said. So it was
They had
like
to
quite.
take the harnesses off and.
They walk the horses up the back stairs.
Right. Yeah.
But, no, I do love this room, though. I mean, and I think that part of what I really like about a lot of Vermont art is how it is grounded in the rural nature of the state, and in what you were saying, Paul. You know, like a sense of place, and you know, and you've been here, you know, your whole life. But for me, that's part of what, for me, is as an artist, is so important too. Is that sense of being a Vermont poet, a Vermont writer. You know, I mean, I don't know if you feel the same way, Shanta.
No, not necessarily. I mean, it's my aesthetic's a bit different because I am not a rural person, even though I have rural roots, which is quite interesting because America, I think it's easy for America to forget its rural roots, especially if you grow up in a city. And so there's always this thing or this mythology about what happens in rural life versus what happens in city life, and kind of looking down upon. I grew up in Hartford, Connecticut, and I like abandoned places a lot. I would have to say Vermont. I'm thankful and grateful for Vermont because it introduced me to all these different abandoned structures, and then I went on to, other places like around the world actually to try to capture abandoned places.
Well, I think your imagination is at work there, isn't it? When you see that, you begin to have that sense of what happened here. What was there was life here, obviously, human life. What happened? Why?
No, it's
Yeah.
kind of, I've always loved, old country graveyards that have been abandoned, that have been sort of abandoned, or you see cellar holes in the mountains sometimes. I mean, old settlements that are up in places like Halifax, or there are tons.
I can take you to one on my street.
But I do think one thing I love about your work is the way it kind of has a sense of place, but also some kind of playfulness with that. Some sort of, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but there's a way in which you're not just capturing it, you're kind of
putting my spin on it. So
yeah, exactly.
But I like that. I actually like that because in terms of like spin on place or a sense of place, I try to look at urbanscape as something that is magically real. Like, instead, what would you say about the streets of Hartford? Like, we know what the news says about the streets of Hartford, Connecticut, but what do you do when you try to think of, let's say, childhood, which sometimes can be a wreckage, or when you think about a city, like an urbanscape and cityscape, and like what do imagine was going on there, and sometimes trying to reimagine that. So I work with some of that too. So you're right, like definitely the thing about imagination being at play in what you do.
So I don't think that is unique, however, to rural writers or rural. I think the imagination is something all creative people exercise.
Or actually everybody. I think
That's true.
Yeah, right?
That's
like
true.
There's a way that one of the things when I was a part of the Arts Council of Windham County, one of the things we were trying to do these forums on creativity and the imagination. So we ran those for a couple years and thinking about demystifying for people the whole idea of artists are creative, and thinking about everything from like how someone may get dressed in the morning, or how they may cook food, or we're going by something and we want to make up a story because we don't know what's going on inside of there, right?
When my wife is in the kitchen preparing a meal, I say, aha, the artist is in her studio.
Yes.
And that's absolutely right.
Yeah. So I think that's also one of the special things about Gallery Walk as well in this region, because you get to see so many different ways of creativity at work, at play. Actually, several years ago, Greg allowed me to put a Polynesian dancer in his window who was like dancing and performing during Gallery Walk. So things like, it was so cool. It was so cool. So like thinking and talking about sense of place, like how do we think about stretching the bounds of our imagination of place and how it inspires us, and also how we inspire the landscape as well.
I'm Greg at Vermont Artisan Designs. It's really been good to have everybody come around on a virtual gallery walk with us today. We've got a lot of things going on. Vermont Artisan Designs is open 7 days a week, and from noon until 4, and also by appointment. We've also got a really special guest out here tonight, DeGray, who is sort of an unsung hero or a sung hero, depending on who you are, who does all of the flowers and all the watering and all the deadheading and all the plantings of the flowers around town. And Dick just does an amazing job. He and his wife Missy are indispensable to not only Gallery Walk, but to town in general. So we're grateful to have him around. How many hours do you spend, Dick?
About 45 hours a week.
That's a A lot of time goes into this and people don't understand about making the town look good. So
Start at 3 o'clock in the morning. A little 6:30 in the morning. Take a break. Come back in the afternoon and evening. Work on flowers.
Wow.
And it's appreciated by the locals, tourists. Had a lot of comments just today. People taking my picture today.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's the encouragement that keeps me going.
Well, that's good.
I think it's a great thing for not only downtown, but for the town of Brattleboro.
Indeed.
So I've had a couple offers to move to someone else's town to do it. I gotta stay here.
Good.
Thank you.
We're not giving you up. All right. Thanks, Dick.
Thank you so much for joining us here with Paul, myself, and Maclean Charles Gander at the Vermont Artisans and during Gallery Walk. And we are about to go to check out the Gaslight Tinkers. So get ready to dance.
Welcome to Gallery Walk. I'm Lauren Watrous, and this is
Ross Smart, and welcome to Gallery Walk.
And we're gonna go check out Harmony Collective.
Which is right there. Hey, Kate. This is the woman who started the gallery, and it's a collective, but she's a really important part of it. Without it, it wouldn't have gotten going.
So hi, I'm Kate Curtis. So this is my artwork. Yeah, tell us about your artwork.
So, I started making block print cards in Vermont in 1970. And I sold greeting cards to museum shops and to stores.
It's like there's a lot of music and dance and jazz.
A lot of my pictures are from the Lindy Hop era, and then afterwards someone says, well, if you're so good at that, why don't you do jazz?
You get
So
going
I
on
call those my stuffed drawings. So if you see, if you're making a card,
Yep.
and then you take the card and you stuff the drawing of the elephant, then you end up with, oh, I don't have an elephant up there. Oh yeah, then you end up with this guy.
Yep.
So here, it's just steps. Right?
Oh, even the hat, the crown.
Yeah, well, it's just taking the same people. These are people in my life.
Your characters.
And moving them along.
Wow, you want to show us a little around
Yeah,
the
so
gallery?
what I'm really excited about is my work here is great, but what really excites me is everybody else's work being here. And like, oh yeah, she sold one last week. This is our newest artist. This is Nancy Gross. We just got her last week. She's never been in an art gallery in her life. She made these, and I went into her living room, and I said, those are gorgeous. And she says, well, I sort of give them away to people. And I said, why don't you bring them in? Why don't we sell them?
I love your stuff.
Oh, thank you.
So, Kate, can you tell us about your work? Like,
I noticed you use really nice saturated colors.
I'm wondering what material you're painting with up there.
This is mostly acrylic gouache.
Oh.
So it's an acrylic,
Yes.
acrylic version of gouache.
It's got a beautiful matte finish.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Those fluffy chickens than anything else in the gallery.
You know what? You have to hold one.
Because you can't, once you hold
Oh
one.
Isn't that
no,
incredible?
why
It's
did you
so
do that
soft.
to me?
Literally did the whole BA in arts thing.
She's a sculptor, a puppet maker, a fiber artist, a painter, and a graphic designer and
events planner. He plans events. Marces, he is a musician and
he makes the tables.
Carpenter. Yes, he's a renowned musician, in fact, and used to sell those in a gallery in New York City.
It catches my eye, these garden carrots right
carrots.
here. They're so funny.
And I put them in a kiln and fired them into a plate.
Oh.
That then I cut out the circle.
Interesting.
Let's see. So I made the, these were canes that he made, and you can see the dimension in there because it was once a round object. And then I melted it into a plate and then cut the plate out to fit the buckle.
Beautiful. So it's a belt buckle now.
Right, and we have a fabulous leather maker who will make a custom belt to go with.
I just pulled out one of your pieces too.
Yeah, that one looks like sea glass, and then there's this one.
I see, yeah, so shiny and matte.
Yeah, that's beautiful too.
Thank you.
And decided to do this, and it's been fantastic. It's just been fantastic. I mean, if you can make it through a pandemic and you still have lights on, and there's still people here, and people are still coming in and buying art and loving it, then I just think that's the sign that it worked.
These are from our flat files over there, and they're all oversized pictures. This is our genealogy area. These are the business personalities, organizations, schools. All of the information we have for the high school, we have the old dials and the yearbooks. This is our Bible collection, and in the front of them often have family histories. These are more extra large photos that we can't scan. These are vital statistics before 1950. These are all our books that relate to Brattleboro or Vermont.
We just did a social studies presentation for the Brattleboro Historical Society.
Stories have spirit, they have agency. Once a story is spoken out, it never goes away.
This is unusual in that we want you to touch everything. We want you to play all the organs. People can't believe it. They come in the door, there's 20 organs here, and we say, please, play them all.
got it, guys.
Yeah.
Net, you can stop the pruning.
Oh,
I have a feeling, though, the Vietnam veterans are being looked upon not so much as bad guys anymore. I think accepted that the country, I think, is starting to finally heal.
I mean, I think a lot of people say Packers Corner.
That's what I've always heard.
Yeah, Packers Corner.
We came because we had enough education, we had enough talk, and we just wanted to learn how to work with our hands, with our bodies. And if there was hatred out there, I think it was probably knee-jerk, and it was not based upon any knowledge of us and who we were.
You go on your journey, and travel far and wide. Should be a thing. The sea, inside my heart. The sea goes
Hi again, I'm Danny Lichtenfeld from the Brattleboro Museum and Arts Center. I hope you enjoyed this presentation of Virtual Gallery Walk. Maybe you met some new artists or musicians or venues that you'll perhaps be enticed to come check out in person sometime soon. I want to extend my thanks to everyone who was involved in this production tonight, both in front of the camera and behind the camera. And I just want to put in a plug one more time for everyone watching to make a point of coming to downtown Brattleboro and supporting our artists and supporting our businesses and our art venues. We can all really use that at these times, and bring your masks, bring your hand sanitizer, and I think you'll find that everyone's doing a really great job of being respectful and keeping each other safe. There will be additional screenings with new content from this virtual gallery walk on the next few Fridays at 6 p.m. on BCTV. And Gallery Walk itself has a new Facebook page, so make sure to find that and like that to stay apprised of what's happening with Gallery Walk as the weeks and months roll on. Thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you soon.